side. So you're going to do several sheets, and Chandler's going to tell you about how to do the unmasking with it and all that. So what you're going to do after that, and after looking at the pages, is you're going to prepare a couple of sheets, and I want you to take your most favorite experiments, and I want you to, on a large sheet of paper, just kind of create an all-over composition. Now, whenever you're working, one of the things I say in drawing when people get started is it will always, 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 always be better if it fills up the page, and if it's bold, I don't even know where that circle came from, probably from something underneath, and if it's bold, has contrast. So try to make it so that whatever experimenting you do, and I'm doing this very quickly, I kind of like the tornado shape. Whatever experimenting you do, you go all the way across the page, or touch all four sides of the page. Now, to me, this looks a little bit, I like the ribbony effect coming on it, and so I'm going to see if I can use the white to create a more ribbony effect. And maybe I want to just, and I'm just experimenting here and seeing what happens if I use my shoulder and it travels around the page. At this point, I don't want you to draw a picture, like a landscape, or if you see a bird's beak and eye, I don't want you to do that. I want you to instead just play with the charcoal, because later on I can make a bird out of it, or I can make trees out of it, or I can make ribbons out of it. Right now we're just getting the feel of it without having to add, oh, it's got to look like something too. Now, what I might want to do is take some of my more favorite experiments and really play with it. Chandler's going to show you more of this, but I'm just doing something to get started because that's what he wants to do, and this is what I would do as an artist. Now, one of the things that you're going to see appear here that I kind of like is before I got started, I put some Mod Podge, and I just put it all over, and you can start seeing the traces of it here. I'm going to now put my powdered charcoal back because it's all over the place otherwise. So I'm just tapping the paper and pouring it back in. Sorry about the camera. Kind of hard to work in this space sometimes. And then I might wipe this off, and when I wipe it down, I'll reveal that there's this weird white resist going on. Now, you can layer things. If you don't like it, you can erase it. You might want to come in and it's like, oh, I think it'd be really cool to put my eraser on top of this and make these pop a little bit. And then I want some strokes going this way. Okay, so you're kind of going wild with it, but this should kind of balance out abstractly. Let me explain. Abstract is about feelings or ideas. Realistic is about objects. So I might want to have a feeling of a peaceful area here descending into this like wild, crazy, dancing chaos here. And I might just like be like, okay, this is going to have everything crazy and wild in it. And when I go back, this is going to become very smooth and peaceful and a counterbalance to it. So you got this overall page, and there's a lot of things you can do. For instance, I mentioned that I liked that vent-like shape. Well, I put a piece of paper down here because I'm going to start putting charcoal or maybe put some framing around it. And when I do that, I'll have a white space left. Like this is a mask or a stencil. And I thought, well, it'd be kind of cool if, what if I had a vent in the middle of the paper that was spewing things out. So, you know, if it's spewing things out, maybe I want to try to make a smoky feel here. I mean, I'm just playing with it, but I'm being serious about my play. Well, what this is right here is I was setting up for, you know, this assignment, and of course I've got some ink out, and the ink has to like spill near this, and I go to pick it up with a wet paper towel, and then it gets on the paper. And then I thought, well, why not just take a wet paper towel and go over the whole thing and see what happens when I use a wet paper towel. So I could come into this and I could, for instance, take a wet brush and I could use the wet brush to make this look more painterly. And I might use like a screen here to make this look orderly. So then I have the vent, smoky and crazy, and to make the smoky craziness seem even more smoky and dark, I might have something really light going on here. In addition to using your eraser, gel medium, masking, and different strokes, I just took some random stickers. This is not a political endorsement, but one of the things that you can do with your strokes is if you have different shapes going on and you have different abstract things going on. Now, I'm just doing a demonstration. If I was actually making an abstract piece, I might really contemplate what I'm doing. When you see Chandler's studio visit, when you do a studio visit with Chandler, you'll see that he's not just dashing the stuff off, he's carefully considering placing it. So I might, again, have a place of craziness with peacefulness in it. Okay, what I did was across this whole page, I just stuck random stickers. You know those address stickers you get for free? And what I'm doing is I'm playing around with, well, what happens if I mask something off? So then I have the fun of course, peeling off the stickers. Now there's a couple of reasons to peel these stickers off. Mark Warner better come up. There we go. Okay. When these stickers come up, you may have some white spots there that are nice and clean or easy to clean up. I would test the stickers. These stickers aren't coming up that easy. I guess they're meant to stick. Okay, there we go. So I might get this cool moon-like feel on it, and this would be very easy to clean up with my eraser, or I could glue something there, like collage on top of it, and if I put glue on this charcoal, it wouldn't stick very well, but if I put some glue there, it would stick very well. I'll come back to that, but let's see what happens with the cheaper address stickers. Now this could also be a piece of masking tape. You can cut masking tape into different shapes. Chandler will show you one of the samples where I was playing around with masking tapes. And so now I'm using the white or the negative space of the picture plane, the paper, to work with. And so again, what might happen here is once I get these peeled off and it looks like an attack of the rectangles or whatever else you want to do, I might come in here and, you know, clean up my special effects, or even, you know, play around with doing something different with it. By the way, as I was reaching over into my materials, I saw these white alpha colors, and you can get white charcoal pastel. I would really recommend you try to use the white of the paper, because if you use white on this to fix up the darkness, it really shows really fast. It looks like white out on paper, or like you put some concealer on, you know, makeup, and you forgot to blend it. So I would only use a white charcoal pencil very sparingly, unless you're going to do it across the whole piece. So you can see here, if I worked it a little bit, I could get some cool things happening with those. And then I can play around with drawing on top of them, like what would happen if a line pierced that. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is take some of the things that I learned in my samples, and I'm going to apply them to my drawing. Now, as you do this, I've got my whole paper covered by the time I take off these stickers. Okay, great. And we always recommend testing like stickers on the kind of paper you're going to use so that you don't get tears. This is just an experiment, so I just used what was handy. So you can play around with the whole page. Now, here's what the assignment is. Fill up a whole page with kind of an environment of abstract shapes and techniques. And it can look any way you want. it's going to look a little crazy. When you have too much contrast or craziness in art, what you want to do is have something to tie it together. So in your assignment, once you untape these experiments, you're going to take your cell phone and photograph them untaped. So it's like a sampler of what you tried. And then I want you to choose one shape, like a circle, a square, a triangle, an amoeba shape, whatever you want, but stick with one shape. So let's say a circle. If you were to place a circle here, or here, or here, or even a half circle here, it would make a difference in what the circle looked like. It could be a big circle, a little circle, and ellipse. So as you'll cut these up. Oh no, they're too precious. The reason we're going to use one shape is that when you have a lot of variety in painting, it can really be chaotic. It doesn't have much direction. You know, it needs something. Well, if it's too crazy, what you do is you do the same thing over and over and over for a little bit. So if you cut these out in different circles, you do not have to use them all. And then you experiment with a couple of backgrounds. What you'll be doing is taking that circle or that square, and you'll be using it as a composition to create an abstract piece of experimental strokes where you're widening your line vocabulary by using as many kinds of lines as possible. I might add circles on top of this. I might use an X-Acto knife and cut this up part of this and slide another circle in it. I might fill this up with circles. It can go any way you want. You're going to see Chandler help you out. Sound good? Have fun with it. Surprise me. Make me impressed. Talk to you later.